to have a little discussion with DeMonte. He's so overly enthusiastic to come speak to you guys.
Love this, Brad.
But boy, that popcorn's good tonight. That was about like I thought it would be. You know, they have played the heck out of everybody all year. They you know, 25 seconds off the shot clock. They're a tough matchup because they can post everybody. I thought we did, you know, for the most part, a pretty good job. We wanted to limit Seth at the 3-point line. He got a couple early, but you know, you've got to take what you get in a 55 possession game. You know, which, you know, I told our team afterwards. I said this will be 3 or 4 games like this in the NCAA tournament, and we saw a lot of different things tonight that we normally see. Guys not being guarded, triangle and 2 zones, you know, looked like they were all in a bunch of combination defenses. And I'm really proud of Kofi. I thought he was tremendous defensively in a night when he wasn't great offensively, and they did a good job of taking him out of that. But you know, you start looking at our shot chart, and you know, not many nights DeMonte Williams is going to lead us in attempts, and yet give him credit. He jumped up there and you know, makes 4 threes and leads us in scoring. I thought they did a great job on Plummer, and you know, that's you know, a tribute to them. But you know, we were out of sorts first half. Thought we played with a little better pace. We got back to what we call .5 basketball, moving a little better in the second and not get so stationary. Coleman was huge down the stretch. You know, big free throws, big offensive rebound, really good defense. I was worried about him, being very honest. I was worried about him mentally. You know, playing offense with guys not within 15 feet of him, and he's a good shooter, but he gets really hesitant, and you know, I've got to help him. I've got to help him turn the first one down, move it, play into a ball screen, and then shoot it again when you're in flow. And I've got to do a better job of helping him with that. But all in all, it's a what is it, 14 wins, and you know, sure is a double bye, and you know, it's a game that you had to take care of business, and we did that.
You're in the middle, Scott.
As it maybe kind of became clear that Penn State was going to defend that way, maybe, you know, double off of DeMonte, leave him open. Was there a conversation with him? Was like, maybe it's got to be you tonight?
No, we had a pretty good idea that there would be a little bit of that, you know, going on. I mean, he, you know, Purdue's done that. You know, Micah was with, you know, with Matt, you know, and so I thought there'd be a little bit of that. But you know, we just got out of sorts. We let it bother us, and we let the ball stop moving. But you know, he's been shooting it really, really well, and we just told him shoot it. You know, just jump up and shoot it. And you know, that's the DeMonte we saw last year. And you know, that's the one we got to have the rest of the way.
Really along those same lines, Coach Shrewsbury said their game plan was basically to pick which players from your team took the shots, and they were pretty successful at that. But how do you respond to that? Do you run more plays for guys, or you just tell the other guys to step up?
Yeah, it wasn't about running plays. It was just we're kind of running our continuity and just stepping into a shot and making it. We've got good shooters. And you know, Jake hit a big one, and yet you've got to you got to play with pace. The ball's got to play with energy, and it didn't tonight.
In your experience, how hard is it to do what Coleman did, just come off almost cold in the second half when Jake has the freak injury thing and give you pretty much what you needed in those last 2 minutes?
Yeah, and like I said, I was worried about it. I was, you know, but mentally he stepped up, and he's been so good. And but you know, DeMonte was stroking it in. He wasn't, and you know, and then Jake's been, you know, that capable guy all year. So it was like, you know, shortened my rotation. But I'm really proud of him. He was terrific.
Good, Jeremy.
Brad, any update on Jake, how he's doing?
Now Doc was back there looking at it. They said just sprain in his shoulder,
And then DeMonte and Coleman were really talking about the mental of a team leaving you open. Do you call it dork, I believe?
Yeah.
What do you tell your guys when the teams are doing that?
You know, at some point you'd be tough enough to handle it, and you know, and just jump up and make a shot. It's like shooting horse in the gym when nobody's there. You know, they're catch and shoot shots, and yet if you're not comfortable, you got to pass it and you got to go screen, and then you become an unguarded screener, and then you flow back into it, and the next one you shoot when you're in rhythm, and you know that's the opportunity that presents itself, and you know, we just didn't do a very good job of that.
Brad?
At the end of the game, you're up 14 seconds or so. Kofi's in the game and he leaves the three-point shooter. Was there a thought to maybe not having him in that situation, maybe 5 out type of situation?
No, because I was trying to get him to rebound. I mean, I was trying to get a rebound. It wasn't very good on my part. We picked up a little full court, and then we got in front. We let him get behind us and get a sprint. But we work on those situations. They're set through us a little bit off. But yeah, I mean, you just can't. You never. You know, rule of thumb: the only guy that can score is the guy with the ball. And we'll learn from that. That'll be one of the first things in film tomorrow.
Scott?
Just curious, what's the genesis of calling that a dork?
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have no idea. I mean, I don't know. It's just a name, I guess, that came up with, and it sounded like, you know, you dork somebody and don't respect them and don't guard them. So.
Doug?
Coach, the way Pickett was able to back guys down, did you want to see something else differently on defensively? Did you want more help or what?
Yeah, and it becomes a challenge when you got, you know, when you've got multiple three-point shooters out there, and you know, we went into the game really concerned with Lundy and Dredd and Sessoms, and but you know, we did do a few things late. We rotated Kofi over on a baseline double. They actually turned it over. Jake got inside and stole it. But you know, again, it's in a low possession game. It's hard to lose a game with twos. And yet it was a close enough game. I was concerned about, you know, I was concerned about the shots that he got. But you know, again, that'll be something that we've worked on a bunch. We've seen it at different times, and you know, we'll have to continue to work on that here between now and the tournament.
Robert?
Do you still get nervous in last-minute close game situations?
Always. I mean, you can't be. I mean, you're always. There's always a little bit of anxiety. The day I'm not, I'm retiring and going to go hit golf balls with Lauren every day. Yeah, I mean, you know what you want to do. You have ideas. You practice them. You know, but there's a little bit of angst because you need to stop, or you need the bucket, or you need to execute, and you can't control it. It's easy as a player. It's great as a player. You know, as a coach, you hope they take what you've practiced and can execute it.
Following on yesterday's conversation about your assistants and Zach, can you talk about everybody's role in bringing things together and trying to not get nervous in that?
Yeah, that's all we do. I mean, they know what we like to do. They know what we're good at. They know what we've practiced. You know, I'm asking them about matchups. I'm asking them about, you know, concepts. I'm asking, you know, Chester, you know, what do they like to run late game situations? What are their, you know, their top 2 actions? Of course, he already knows that. You know, we knew the out of bounds play that, you know, they would pop Lee out for a 3 with Kofi. Kofi was right there guarding it. So, you know, it's just it's everybody doing their job.
Alec?
Trent probably had one of his more difficult defensive assignments tonight when you factor in Pickett's ability to kind of post up on the block like that. He seemed to make a couple really timely defensive plays, whether it was a block or a steal or poking it away. Can you just describe the way you saw his defense tonight?
Yeah, like I always do, really good. He's number 1 in the country in points per possession when used in a ball screen, and it's not even close. I mean, he's that good. And you know, talking with Casey Jacobson, who did the game on air, and you know, and that's just something he's gifted at. I mean, he's really good. But you know, he's going to fight every possession, and he's going to compete every possession. And you know, he takes it personal when he's gets scored on.
Jory?
Coach, what's this kind of the defensive intensity they used? What does that do to prepare you guys for the Big Ten tournament, NCAA tournament?
Yeah, it just gives you something else that you've got to see, you've got to prepare for. You know, and when we weren't, you know, not a lot of teams play that way. They do, it fits their personnel very, very well. You know, and I wouldn't, you know, if I was playing us, I wouldn't let Kofi score either, try to. But again, you know, you've got different philosophies, and that was their philosophy, and their combination of mixing up defenses was really good.
Coach Chester Frazier actually, against Purdue when he was playing for Illinois, had times when they dotted him or dorked him or whatever you want to say. How could he help those guys through that process? Because I know he struggled early and then he figured out how to play through it later on.
Well, hell, he's never told me that. Now I can get on his, now I can get on his butt. But no, I think you've got there's a mental component to it. I mean, nobody wants to be that guy that, yeah, you think I stink, and you know, everybody wants to be that guy that they're face guarding and topping like they were Plummer, you know. And so, but you know, hey, give him. We'll get better. Once you've seen it, you kind of know how to deal with it. We'll talk them through it, and you know, I've always say turn the first one down, and flow, and then the next one bury it. And you got to be man enough to bury it. You got to know you've been in the gym long enough and shot enough balls to bury it, and we'll help them there.
Scott?
You mentioned maybe getting Kofi to rebound in the second half, but in the second half, was it get anybody to rebound for a stretch there?
Yeah, that would have been nice, wouldn't it? I was balls hitting our hand tonight. I mean, we were flat. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Penn State. We were flat, and we didn't have a very good shoot around. You know, our energy wasn't great, but I mean, how many balls hit our hands, and we didn't come up with them? I mean, Jake had 2 or 3. Jake had 10 rebounds if he, you know, if he would have snatched loose balls. They beat us to the floor tonight, you know, a couple of times. But you know, Plummer was a huge help. You know, Plummer comes in and gets 6 rebounds, and you know, those are the things that you've got to do. But you know, we've got to be better from this point on in that area.
Does being flat in March bother you? I know it was one of those just win type of scenarios, but did it bother you much?
Win. Most nights are we're pretty good. So we'll you know, it's a long season. It's the last week of conference season. It's a team we haven't seen. They play great. We take everybody's best punch, and we did that tonight.
Brad, I don't think DeMonte likes being asked about his shooting very much, but what's the difference? I mean, I probably wasn't going to shoot 50-something% again, but what's been the difference of him as a shooter this year?
Yeah, it hasn't been as a last year was strictly a 4, and he knew where they were coming from. I mean, they were the same spots, the same shots every single time. And this year we played him at the point, we played him at the 2, we played him all over. So there's been a lot more inconsistency in where his shots come from, how he gets them, and where they're at. And that's something that's not an easy thing to handle. And you know, tonight we knew he knew gonna be on the backside wing and just jump up and shoot him, and he made one from the top of the key when we actually flipped, he and Jake, for different looks. So, you know, give him credit.
Doug?
Coach, are you happy the way Coleman Hawkins has accepted his current role, the energy guy off the bench, and he had the big offensive rebound on Trent's miss? Has he accepted that role to your satisfaction, and are you liking what you're seeing?
I love it because he's given us tremendous energy and tremendous lift off the bench, and you know that, you know, some Michigan game, you know, kind of roles were reversed a little bit. You know, DeMonte played, you know, 17, 18 minutes, and Coleman was playing, you know, a ton of minutes. That's nice when you have that versatility coming in off the bench.
Anything else? Thank you.
Thank you.